Hello, it's Lucy from Nanny Buttons Crafts. Thank you for joining me. Today we're going to make a yarn wreath for Christmas. I usually make crochet ones, but I have done other ones in the past. So what you need is a polystyrene wreath base. I prefer to use these in a flat one because it's going to give you sort of a bit more depth to it. This one measures about 22 centimetres and I think it was about £1.80, but I use this for another project which I didn't survive being in the loft, so I've recycled it, so it's a bit bumpy, but that'll be fine. You need a ball of wool. In the perfect world you would go into the shop, pick the colours you want to coordinate, make your wreath, which is sometimes what I do, but with this one it's going in my girl's bedroom, so it just needs to be kind of girly. So we've got some nice cream wool, and I've made loads of pom-poms in all different sizes. Some of them are looking a bit scrappy, but that's fine. We'll talk about that in a minute, but let's get started with this. So you need, if you've got a hot glue gun, it's going to make life so much easier. Find the side that looks the worst, and you might want to make sure there's glue in your glue gun, and you just put a tiny little blob on. This one's not really hot enough, but that's fine. And then you just, so this, all this is going to do is just hold the end, and we're just going to wrap it round. So this is going to take ages, but other than crochet or thick ribbon, there's not really any other way of covering your wreath, unless you want to cover it in pom-poms, in which case with lots and lots of pom-poms on you wouldn't see the base, but I'm not going to do that with this one. I actually want this, I want you to see it's yarn, I want you to see that the effort's been put in to wrap round. So you go round, and if you've got a nice ball, then that you just put that through and it's going to save you loads of time. And you do a few, and then what you do is you just push them up to, I hate this on the polystyrene, you just push them up to make sure, so this is the back because that's where the glue is, to just make sure, so once, it's not very good colour for you to see, is it? But once you've got a big block on there, you'll see, and it doesn't matter too much if they cross over, unless you're a perfectionist, then it does matter. And if you've got a chunky yarn, you'll be a lot quicker. So I'm going to pause you now while I get on with that, and I'll come back in just a second. Okay, so that was about 20 minutes to wrap this round. If you use a nice light colour like me, you won't worry too much about the odd little gaps, but if you use a dark colour like red or something, then it'll be much trickier and you'll use a bit more wool. So with the last bit, when you think you're kind of ready, you just come round and then you just secure at the back with some glue, just like you did when you started. Blob of glue. You're not going to see the back anyway, so that's fine, however that looks. And just let that dry and we'll cut that off in a minute. Okay, so then you need to decide how you want to decorate this. I'm going to just put my decoration at the bottom with the bow at the top. You could do the whole thing, it's entirely up to you. I want this to be soft, and that's what pom-poms do. So if you can remember making pom-poms when you were younger, that's great, you'll know how to make them. If not, you can buy various different pom-pom makers, and these ones are terrible, but I got them off eBay. I bought them because they had loads of different sizes, and basically you put them together, wrap wool round one, wrap wool round the other, slot them together, and then cut through the middle. And it's just awkward and not as fun as other ones I've used. So make up your pom-poms. What size is up to you. I've got a mixture, so I've got some that are huge, I've got some that are kind of in the middle, and I've got some that are small. And I'm also going to use just a couple of these pom-poms because I like the shininess in them, and maybe we'll use something else, we'll see. So you take your glue gun, and hopefully it's not all spilling out like this one is, and you're just going to pick, like I said, pick your area, and you just put a huge dollop of glue on, really nice and big, nice big dollop, and then you pop your pom-pom on. So I'm going to start with a little small one. Okay, so if you're because I'm going to have lots around this one, I don't need to worry about it being too neat, but obviously when you get to the end pieces, you might not want to use quite so much, because although this is drying, I don't know if you can see, and you can see it like the excess glue, so you're probably not going to want that around the edges, so we'll be a bit more cautious around the edges. So let's put quite a blob on here. And then with these pom-poms, really push them down. Okay, you can always go in and secure them a little bit more underneath if you want to, but if you don't put enough glue, then they're going to come off. So you could tie these on if you didn't have a glue gun. These bigger ones are quite heavier as well, and the glue gun does take a little while to set, so just don't be too much of a hurry to move it, otherwise you might find it falls off. So I'm just going to give this pom-pom a bit of a trim with some really blunt scissors. Okay, so same thing again, nice big blob. You're going to get through quite a lot of hot glue with this project. Quick grab another one because it's running out. So that was pretty much a whole glue stick on just that so far. Okay, and secure it in. And you can always trim these pom-poms afterwards. Just kind of hold it down for a little bit to make sure. So far we've got this. It's a bit crazy looking. And then I've got a purple. So this is not really that Christmassy, although some people do say they like pink at Christmas. So you could do a red and green one if you wanted, if you really wanted to. And you might want to spend a little bit of time working out where you want to put them to. So you might, I'm just going for sort of anything really, but you might want to spend a little bit of time deciding where you want to put them for even coverage and stuff. So the more you put you into these wreaths, so whatever you like, you put into these. If you have felt flowers, you could put felt flowers on these. You know, whatever you want to put on it, that's absolutely fine. In fact, it's better the more unique you make it. So we're just, you might, even with these little ones, you might want to put the pom-pom and the glue on the pom-pom and push it in. If it's a tricky space to get to, like I want to pop one in there, that's an easier way of doing it. Just hold it down. That glue just takes a little while to set, not too long though. Okay, and this pom-pom, let's show you this pom-pom. It's from this crazy wall that's got like bubbles on it. Can you see them? Bubbled wall. And I thought this would be so good for wrapping up presents. But I did just want to see if it would make a pom-pom. And it has, and it looks like the mats you get on towels. You know, the bathroom mats. That's what I'm trying to say. I think that's really cool. So let's just trim it a bit where it's gone a bit crazy. And let's stick this one on, and I'm just going to put that one in there. Okay, so far we've got that, which is quite uneven and mad looking. So we need to put some pom-poms to just even it up. I'm just going to turn it at me so I can see how it's looking. And I'm just going to put one underneath with some more glue. And now it should be alright. So you could space these out all over the place if you wanted, or you could make them very symmetrical. Going to hold that one in a second. Okay, so we've got kind of come back a bit so you can see it. No, we'll go closer so you can see it. Okay, so it's looking kind of a bit crazy. So I'm going to pop one of my balls in here. Now with these baubles, the solid ones, lots and lots of glue, and you really are going to have to hold this one for a little bit. And I want the top of the bauble on show, but I'm going to take this off in a minute. And this actually comes from, I've stolen this off my girls' Christmas tree, because they have one in their bedroom. I've stolen it off. But they were okay with that. They do know. They are aware it has been stolen. I did have some of these floral flowers that come backed. I think they're about like 40p each. I was going to put some of these on, but I don't. Yeah, maybe we will. Let's see. Kind of like anything goes with these. I think we might need one on this side too. Let's take that one off first, so it's not in the way. I do want this to have like a bit of an unsymmetrical. Like I don't want to be too symmetrical, so put that one on. I'm just going to hold it a second. So you don't want things falling off. So you could use, I've seen wreaths made with like children's toys. You know, they're like plasticky ones you get from McDonald's. That kind of thing. Okay, so we've got this. You can't see this very well, can you? I'll try and move it in just a second. And I have, oh, I can move the camera. So I have, sorry, I made the camera really shake. I have this, it's like a net. I think I bought a piece of net and I've cut a piece off with terrible ends. So let's trim the ends up a minute, which I thought this would be great. I think this was like just an offcut from a bucket in the craft shop, about 50p or something. And I'm just going to use this to make a nice big lace bow. So if you see this kind of netting stuff and it's really cheap, just grab it, because you never know when it's going to be really handy. So we've just tied a bow, and I want quite a big bow. And you can pull it out to make it a bit more bow-like. I think that's kind of okay. And I'm just going to turn my glue gun off a minute. They can overheat, glue guns. Just unplug it a second. Okay, and that's not very central, so let me just centralise it a bit. And I'm just going to trim off this edge because it's really floppy compared to the other one. And actually, let's just really jiggle my bow a minute. Okay, so we have a bow. And then, do we want one of these weird flowers in there? Is it just too weird? There is kind of a gap there, so let's just stick a massive amount of glue in there and stick a spare pom-pom in. Okay, and then I have, this is something that I did with another wreath I made. I used these little sequins and I pinned them on, so it's really easy. You just take a pin, just grab a pin, sorry, you pop it through the hole, hopefully, pop it through the hole, and you just pin it in. But because this is going in children's bedroom, and even though these pins are really long, I'm just not going to risk it. So I'm going to glue these on and probably burn myself in the process. So just carefully, we'll get loads of cobwebs, and they don't really want to stick very well, but they will dry. So I'm going to just pop a few of these on. You don't have to do this process. You don't have to do, you know, you could just cover the whole thing in pom-poms if you want, but it will take you quite a while to make your pom-poms. So just bear that in mind. And of course you don't have to buy sequins. Sorry, I'm picking the sequins off. You don't have to buy them on a string like this. You can buy them individually in pots. But if I make a lot of cards, so if you're making cards, you might find that this is a really good. You've got that as an option then if you want to make like a border or something. But you can still pick them off if you need to. So how many you put on is up to you. could cover it. You could just put a few. And this has been not a hugely expensive thing. It's no problem to just use like red and green if you want. A really good way of not burning yourself with a glue gun is to let it go to a state where it's kind of quite cool. And if I'm working with my glue gun for a long time, I switch it on and then I switch it off and I switch it on and I switch it off, because that way it has a chance to cool down. I don't get so burnt, and it still holds fine. You'll know when it's not holding fine. I'm just going to cut this to make this easier for me. I don't think we'll put too many on here. And I think that is pretty much it. So that actually didn't take that long, did it? It wasn't too painful, hopefully, for you to watch. Okay, yeah, I'm happy with that. So just remove any blobs of glue, because you'll get like little cobwebs. That's inevitable. Okay, try and turn it around for you to see. Move my camera a little bit so you can see it. Okay, that's it. Thank you ever so much for watching, and I hope you like it, and I hope you feel inspired to have a go at making a wreath. Okay, thanks ever so much. Bye.